Hello students, and welcome to midterm. I would like to take a few moments and go over some of the highlights at the beginning of the semester and talk a little bit about where we need to go for the remaining few weeks that we're together here. First and foremost, talking about the discussion board posts. You've been doing a fantastic job with those. I cannot complain. If you continue to do those posts like you're doing in this class, you're going to have a very, very successful career here at SNU and beyond. Uh, Nothing is more pleasing to professor to jump onto the discussion board and see students with 6, 7 posts going back and forth. That means you're conversing. That means that you're really engaging each other in conversation, and that's what I look for. It's those discussion board posts are not designed for me to put my 2 cents in there. Okay. Now I'll jump in if somebody's getting off track, or if I just feel that something of interest that I should probably respond to or want to respond to help generate a conversation. But for the most part, everybody's doing a really, really good job with these. You're citing appropriately. You're giving nice feedback to your peers, using multiple posts. But I'm just very pleased with those. So thank you for that effort and continue to do so. Short papers. Short papers look good too. Content-wise, you're all tracking. A little housekeeping tip, follow that format that I have laid out for you. I literally want to see those sections that I talked about because I'm trying to teach you how to structure your writing that's appropriate for our field. In our field, specifically Homeland Security, criminal justice, emergency management, public safety type stuff, short and concise, to the point. Right? We don't want long papers. We don't want those type of things. We don't want to be wordy. What we want is short, sweet, to the point. And writing that way is sometimes is much more difficult than writing long papers. So 2 to 4 pages, be on point, follow that format, and cite appropriately. Talking about citations, okay, some of the common errors that we're still making on APA. We're doing a great job with APA, by the way. If you would go back to where we were at in the beginning to where we're at now, phenomenal. You'd be surprised, just 4 or 5 weeks, how much of a difference it has been. But the biggest thing you need to do is remember the formula. Okay, when you cite in the body of your work, and this is where I'll be quite frank with you, that's the most important piece because most readers in our field can tell if you can cite appropriately or not. We're not looking so much at paragraph structure and grammar and all that. We're really looking at, can this person cite appropriately? And if they can cite appropriately, then it adds validation to your work. It's that simple. So the basic structure is, for paraphrasing, it's author, year, then the punctuation. Punctuation doesn't go before the citation, it goes after, unless you have a long block quote, and that's a whole other conversation. Or if you're going to do a direct quote, it's author, year, page number. Now, where you're getting jammed up is if you do an online source, okay, then and there's no page number, then you're going to have to count those paragraphs and find out where that citation came from. You don't do both, but you have to do that if it's not there. Speaking of online sources, be very, very hesitant to use those. And I'm not talking about going to Shapiro Library and downloading an article off of the web. Okay, that's an appropriate scholarly article. It's gone through academic rigor. It has peer reviews. That's good stuff. Going to terrorismresearch.com may not necessarily be scholarly work. Now, we still cite it appropriately, but just understand that that has not gone through academic rigor. So as you get a little bit deeper into your program, just keep that in mind. You should be going to Shapiro and other university libraries and downloading scholarly articles and sources. So just keep that in mind. If it doesn't end in a .gov or a .edu, I'd be careful using it off the web. It's just not clean, okay, and from a scholarly perspective. But also building on that, it's very, very important that you cite from the material of the module. So if there are sources in the module, I expect to see those in your paper. Okay, and there's been times I haven't done it, and I kind of let it go a little bit because you're still on point with what we're talking about. But you should be certainly citing Combs. You should certainly be citing Chordsman. You should certainly be citing some of those documents that are found within the module. Okay, so make sure you do that. Just not only for here, but for all classes that you take online. It's just a good housekeeping thing as a scholar. So short paper is looking great. Discussion board's great. APA is looking good. Let's talk about the final. Now I get excited about this final. What I want you to do with at least one of your targets, I want you to go out into your community and look around and see what would cause some trouble and what's vulnerable to a particular type of attack. We can all do the big venues and all those things, and we get that, okay? But the key is from a hiring perspective, when I look for talent, I look for that analyst that can go out and find those things that I may have missed or been maybe overlooked. I really like in the 9/11 Commission report, they talk about we lacked imagination, and nobody thought about using planes for bombs until they did it. And that's what I want you to look for, at least with one of them. Okay, I really want you to go in there and say, in my little community, somebody could roll up and take out Bob's Diner, and that would really cause a problem for this community. Because that's what ISIS is doing right now. If you look at that, that's the all call from them, is to go out and have all these soft target attacks. So think about that. Think about what would cause a problem, and so just from a mindset of that, be creative. Think outside the box. Don't worry about if it's wrong or not. No, nothing can be wrong if you're putting the thought behind it. Go through Chordsman's document. Go through the FEMA mission areas that I've laid out for the mitigation strategies. So that's what I'll be looking for. Did you cite that? And you look into it. So we got to start getting into the mindset of the motivation and how these people may pick a target, when we may intervene. So we have the 5 phases, right? And then what type of mitigation strategies would be the best to do that intervention. So that's kind of where you're going. Okay, that's kind of where you're going. And I want you to use Chordsman's document. It can be very concise. It does not have to be one long written document. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. We'll have conversations about it. We'll have a lot of fun with that one. And then last, I'm talk about the midterm here. Okay, midterm is the same thing, 2 to 4 pages, just like any other short paper, but be really, really on point with it. All right, you're going to have there's essentially three essay questions. Just work through them, answer them like 3 mini papers. They do not have to flow together. All right, they don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, I prefer that they don't. Just answer the questions. I'm looking. Can you clearly put on paper what needs to be conveyed as you answer those questions? So that's what I'm looking for. But in short, I am extremely pleased with how the class is going. I'm extremely pleased with the way you folks are interacting, how you're progressing through your writing. It's really been awesome. So if you need anything from me, as always, please reach out. Do not hesitate to get a hold of me, and let's have a great second half of the semester. Take care.